What's up, traders? Hope you're all doing good. In this video, we're going to be creating this dark themed template. I had a few requests requesting this template. The previous video where I did my TradingView setup, I got a lot of great reactions from it. So I decided let's do a dark themed template. There's a lot of guys that prefer a dark themed one, and I have to say, after I created this one, I'm quite loving it. So we're going to add a few extra little things in there. We have a little emoticons, emojis over here, and with the time thing, just to create a nice feel for this template. So we're going to reset everything. We're just going to go light. So most probably when you open TradingView, you get something like this. If this is your first time, this is probably something um, what you're open with. But or you'll get it as a dark, and then it's just dark like this. So we're going to be working from the dark theme. So we've set it to dark. I want my side panel and everything dark. First things first. I always first go to settings, and then I go to trading, no, scales, canvas, and I remove my grid lines. I don't want any grid lines, so make that a none. Then we have this smooth background. Then I want my background to be a little bit darker. This is nice and dark, but I want a specific color. So I'm going to show you that color. So I created already all the colors. So we're going to have them right over here. Let's make that a little bit bigger so you can read as well. So here you'll have all the codes and everything for what we use. You'll have that. So the background color there is the hex code. So you can just go and you can copy that code. Make sure you select everything, copy that. And then when we go to settings and we go to the background, we want to make our background a solid color. I don't like the gradient, so I'm going to make it a solid color, but you can be creative with it. And then I'm going to go to new. I'm going to add that color over there. It's kind of a bluish black. I kind of like that bluish undertone. It's very subtle, but it is there. So that is then our background color. So we have our background color selected. Now let's do our uh, our, our symbols. Our symbols. So for the body, for bullish, on this side we have bullish, on that side we have bearish. For bullish, I'm gonna go with the custom color is already created. But if you go to plus sign, there is the code. So you can see E1, E4, double E. There's our code. And then for the borders and the wig, I'm just going to have a solid white. For our body, for our bearish candles, I'm going to use this gray. Nothing fancy on this one. It's the one just above the teal color, fifth one from the right. And then I'm just going to have everything else the same way. Let's just say, okay, let's just have a look. Now already we have something that looks pretty cool, pretty neat. The colors are popping off of the background. Everything looks, I think it looks quite nice. Okay, next up we're going to create our supply zone and our demand zone, or resistance, support, and resistance levels, whatever you want to call them. We're going to have these two levels which we'll be using. So let's first do our supply. Let's just move this out of the way. So select that color, that code. Okay, and then we go in here and style, create the style, click on the plus icon, paste it in here, and then just make sure that your opacity is at 20%. 18% is also a relatively, well, 18, 20 is very similar, but let's keep it at 20%. And now we can save this as or resistance. Let's do it like this. Supply resistance. Okay. For some reason, I'm now questioning myself if this is supply on the top side. Anyway, you can figure that out. Okay. There's our supply now. And then we're going to create our demand zone or our support area. So there's the code. We copy that. We double click in here as well. Go into the settings. It's already created there, but I'm just gonna paste that over here. Boom. And we can make sure that this is 18% as well. Perfect. So there we have now our supply and demand, or support and resistance. We just have to save this one. Save drawing template as on slash support. Okay, now we have those two levels. In the past, you'll notice I used to name the POIs, or the areas of interest that I use. I don't really use multi-time frame POIs anymore. My training is a lot more time-based, session-based, 3-hour cycle-based. So we'll be creating that template with all of that in mind. The next up is just our risk reward tool, which is a key tool to use. So here, first of all, I already created it, but I'm just going to show you quickly how this is now our short. Coming short. So the risk reward, there is the codes. You can just pause the video and then just use that. But it's basically stop color is this white and at 30%, and our TP target color is this dark one above the blue at 30%. If we now place the long position on here as well, you'll see it is the same as well. You can just copy and paste or use those codes. So let's just say we mark up this zone, and we took a short from that area, stop loss above. So we want to see how it shows, how it separates. You can see that the path where price went is a little bit lighter, and then the rest is darker. So you can clearly see how a winning trade would look. I quite like that. And then if it was a losing trade, you'll see that there as well. Like that, you can see clearly losing trade. Okay, so that is very clean and clear, and I kind of like that. So we're gonna I'm just gonna delete them for now. Then buy side liquidity, sell side liquidity. I'm gonna keep it very simple, and I'm just going to make it a red line. I'm gonna have it as a straight line. I'm gonna make it the thickness 2, and I'm just going to, I might change this later on, but for now I'm just gonna say buy side liquidity. I'm gonna have it on top and all the way to the right, and I'm gonna have this at 14. That's kind of a sweet spot for me, and I'm just gonna save it as buy side liquidity. And then we're gonna do the same, pretty much the same thing for our sell side liquidity. So you can notice then if I have something selected and I press on Apple it's Command, and on Mac I think it's Alt, it goes to magnet mode. So then you can quickly snap onto areas. It's quite nifty, quite handy. So same thing over here, text, sell side liquidity. This one I want on the bottom. And I'm just gonna save this as sell side liquidity. Save. That is now done. Then I want to annotate my structure breaks, and I'm going to do a little bit differently. I'm going to use a line, and I'm just going to make it white, but I want the white that's the same as the candles. It's a little bit of a off-white. You'll see in a bit. But now I don't want to just say structure break. I want an arrow in there. So I'm going to go to Emojipedia, and I'm going to search for arrow. I'm just going to use this down arrow. I'm just going to copy this one, and I'm going to go back. You can go to whatever site as long as you can easily copy and paste it. Make it 16. And we'll just put it on the left hand side. And we'll just say save as structure break down. You can use whatever way you want to add a structure break, but that's how I'm going to show a structure break towards the downside. And let's add one towards the upside. And we're just going to go back one. We'll just use the up arrow. Going to copy that. And we'll just paste, go to settings again, paste that in there. Make sure it is on the top. I'm going to make it structure break of, there we have it. We can potentially make the text a little bit bigger if you want the arrow to be bigger, but I think it's going to be fine for that. So then that kind of gives you a quick indication, just like almost like an indicator on the chart that price is going lower. You can have a different symbol for change of character or a trend chains or whatever you want to call it. I want to try to keep it simple. Okay, so now the next thing that's important for me is it's time. So I'm going to use same thing. I'm going to do a line, and I'm going to make this one, and I'm going to have it as dashed lines. And for this one, I'm going to make it the blue that we used for this zone. So I like that blue. It kind of works very nicely. And then I'm going to add a clock, add time. So 9:30 open and 9:30. I don't think it really matters which one you use. Okay, but we copy that one, and we're just gonna plot it over here, and we just want it to be in the middle, like that. And we'll just call this 9:30. Save, and we can just place that at 9:30. And there we have our little timing. Now, I use hourly cycles as well. So for that, we use vertical lines. So go to the left, right click, and go to, vertical lines. Just plot that in there. And let's go to where do we want to use this? Let's go to where the New York session starts. 2 o'clock. Now, this is a little bit too in your face. So let's get a different color for this. And often you go here and you're like, I'm not seeing anything that's really nice. So let's go to the plus sign. Let's use the picker and let's select the color. Now, bear in mind that we want to use something that fits with our theme, which is kind of blue and red. So let's go to the red side and let's go something that's kind of like a pastel tone down reddish color, something like this, brownish. Okay, I like that. Let's just see on the blue side. Maybe there's something better on the blue side. Oh yes, I actually like this more, blue gray. I'm a sucker for blue grayish. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. Let's copy this one and just add it. And we'll just add it down here, and we'll just call it vertical lines. Vertical lines. Ooh, we didn't copy. No worries. Go in there again. Go to style. Click on the plus sign again. Select all. Copy. And we'll just add that there. Okay. So there we have our vertical lines. First hour. And let's just save this. We'll just save it as vertical. Okay. So that's where the session starts. That there's the first hour of the session, and so on. Okay, so that looks pretty clean. So another thing that I often use is the GAN box, this one. I already kind of set it up, so I'm just going to show you quickly. So uncheck everything, and just add these 3 with 0.5, and then I selected that baby blue color. Yeah, so that's kind of like just a range, 50% range, seeing premium to discount, and so on. So that's something that I often use as well. Okay, so what else? Let's quickly just put in. Oh, okay. Next thing that we can do is just quickly create our shortcut bar. So the tools that we often use the most, we want to see that as a kind of a shortcut toolbar. So when we click right on this, you'll see when you hover on the right hand side, there's a little star, add to favorites. So we're going to use this one. We're going to use short positions. Look, that's probably it on that side. We're going to use a brush, a highlighter, arrow, rectangle, maybe a circle, ellipse, and then text and call out. I think those are the ones we'll use the most. Okay. Then we just want to see our toolbar. Okay, so let's quickly show our toolbar. Okay, I forgot to add the trend line. We want to use trend line, and where's the arrow? I don't see it there. We're going to use the GAN box as well. I'm not using any of these things. No, nothing over here. There's the arrow. We want the arrow as well. Okay, so here we have then our shortcut toolbar. So if we want a short trade, we can quickly find that and we can plot our tool. Next up is the brush. So the default is a blue. The blue is not too bad. We could stay with that blue. Highlighter, red highlighter. This arrow, I'm not really using this, so I'm going to remove that in just a bit. And then an ellipse tool, creating little circles around things. I don't like that red. That's a bit too much. I'm going to make it blue as well. So let's use our blue on the outside and that blue on the inside. So there's our ellipse if you want to point out highs and lows. And then our text, if you want to add text. This is very important because you want to be making a lot of notes. So let's use that. So we'll just be continuing with our templates. We'll use this blue, and the outline, we're going to make it the other blue. And this is our text box. Make that bold. So we can add notes. If we just want to add notes without making it a different color, so or without using it like a speech bubble, I'm going to use this white. I'll often switch between white and red, but let's use white. And let's just call this is a trade on Wednesday, and make it nice big. There we have some text colors. Arrows. I think the arrows I'm going to make green. I feel like we need some green. We'll just use this green. So now we've kind of set up the TradingView, and I've showed you a few tips and tricks along the way. Just added a few things on the chart just to clean it up a little bit. So if you go to settings and we go to over here to scales, you can see we can have our symbol name. Look here on the right, symbol name. Well, we don't want to see that. We want but an ask price. I don't want to see that. So you can just follow these settings. It's all turned off. I want to see the plus icon, because the plus icon, I can quickly set alerts over there. Set alert, add alerts. I want to see that plus icon. So I have that on there. Status line. this is now everything on the left hand side. Do we want to see logo? Yes or not? Do we want to see the title? You can turn the title completely off. Open market status, closed. So I know when I'm trading and I know when it's open or not. So I'm just going to keep that off. Open, high, and low, and close. I don't really use that often or in it or at all. So I'm going to keep that turned off. So this is kind of what I have set in here. One thing we need to add is one indicator. So we go to indicator, AGFX, I think. What is it called? Watermark. It's a watermark. I'm just quickly gonna find it. AGFX watermark. This is a very helpful one, and we're just gonna change it to, I'm gonna call it DW Trader, and my thing will be time. This is from Stacy Burke, so time, and scroll, call this levels, behavior price, behavior of price, and title color, let's make that our off-white. Let's make it actually this blue. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks nice. And subtitle color, make it that blue as well. And then down below, we're going to make it all white. So that really stands out. So here we can then see the date, the pair, the time frame, and up here we have our logo and our slogan or whatever you want to remember when trading. Just make this a little bit smaller. And that's kind of the template set up. And I think you can then add the indicators you want to use. I'll probably make another video on the indicators that I use often, but I think this is a good view for you to understand setting up a dark themed template. I think I might use this for some time and see how it works out. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoy the video, and then I'll see you in the next one. Have a great one.